The emergency session of the Galactic Council had been called within hours of the Krellian fleet's destruction. Representatives from across the galaxy filled the great chamber, their voices mixing into a confused roar of fear and anger. Everyone was talking at once, demanding answers. Ji-Hai Li stood at the human platform, but she was no longer the same person who had begged for help just days before. Her back was straight, her eyes were cold, and her voice carried a new authority that made the entire chamber fall silent when she spoke. "Honored representatives," she began, "I know you have questions about what happened in the Vega sector. You want to know how 3 human ships destroyed 9 Krellian battlecruisers in 12 minutes. You want to know where these ships came from. You want to know what other secrets humanity has been hiding." Chairman Vexathon of the Altarian Empire stood up, his blue face darker than usual. "Ambassador Lee, the Altarian Empire demands an immediate explanation. Our intelligence services have been monitoring Earth for 5 years. These ships do not exist in any of our records. That's because you weren't supposed to know about them," Ji-Hai said simply. The chamber erupted in angry voices. Representatives from dozens of species shouted questions and accusations. Some demanded that Earth be expelled from the Galactic Council. Others wanted to know if humanity posed a threat to their worlds. "Order," Chairman Vexthon shouted. "The ambassador will explain herself immediately." Ji-Hai waited for the noise to die down. Then she activated a holographic projector that she had never used before. The air above the human platform filled with images that made several representatives gasp in shock. "These are Earth's real capabilities," she said. The hologram showed massive shipyards hidden in the asteroid belt, between Mars and Jupiter. Thousands of workers built ships that were larger and more advanced than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Manufacturing facilities stretched for miles through space, their automated systems working around the clock. "For 50 years, Ji-Hai continued, humanity has been preparing for the possibility that the galaxy might not be as peaceful as we hoped. We've built a fleet that could challenge any empire. We've developed technology that makes your most advanced systems look primitive." Kulvik of the Centauri Collective activated his translation device. "This is a deception. Our scans of Earth's solar system show no such facilities." Dr. Eugene Kwok, Earth's chief scientist, stepped forward. She was a small woman with gray hair, but her voice filled the chamber. "Your scans see exactly what we want them to see," she said. "We've been using dimensional folding technology to hide our facilities in pocket dimensions. Stealth fields that bend light and sensor waves around our ships. We've been watching you watch us, and making sure you only saw what we wanted you to see." She activated her own holographic display. This one showed recordings from the battle in the Vega sector. The Krellian ships firing uselessly at human vessels that phased in and out of reality. The impossible weapons that tore apart matter at the molecular level. "Your weapons cannot harm ships that exist partially outside normal spacetime," Dr. Kwok explained. "Your armor cannot stop quantum torpedoes that materialize inside your hulls. Your shields are useless against gravitational field manipulators that can create miniature black holes." The chamber was completely silent now. Even the most arrogant representatives looked frightened. Representative Koran of the Spiral Federation spoke in a voice that trembled like wind chimes in a storm. "Why hide all of this? What were your intentions?" "Survival," Ji-Hai said. "Look around this chamber. How many of your empires were built through conquest? How many species have you enslaved or destroyed? When humanity first detected alien signals, we had a choice. We could announce ourselves as primitives and hope for mercy, or we could prepare for war while working for peace." She gestured to the holographic displays showing Earth's hidden fleets. "We chose both. We built the strength to defend ourselves, but we hid it behind a mask of weakness. We hoped that if you saw us as harmless newcomers, you would leave us alone while we learned about the galaxy." "And if we had not left you alone?" Chairman Vexton asked. Dr. Kwok smiled grimly. "Then you would have discovered that attacking Earth was the last mistake your empire ever made." The hologram changed again. This time it showed star maps with hundreds of red dots scattered throughout the galaxy. Each dot represented a hidden human facility or ship. "We have been watching all of you for 5 years," Ji-Hai said. "We know the location of every one of your military bases. We have mapped your supply lines and identified your weaknesses. We know which of your generals can be trusted and which are planning coups. We know more about your empires than your own intelligence services do." The representatives looked around at each other with growing fear. "The humans had been spying on everyone. This is an act of war," shouted the representative from the hegemony. You have violated our sovereignty. No, Jihai said coldly. We protected ourselves from potential threats. And considering what happened when we asked for your help with the Valerians, I'd say our caution was justified. Chairman Vexton's voice was much quieter now. What do you want from us? We want you to remember today, Jihai said. We want you to remember that when 50,000 innocent Valerians called for help, the mighty Galactic Council offered thoughts and prayers. But humanity sent ships. She deactivated the holographic displays and looked around the chamber. For 5 years, you've treated us like children who were lucky to be allowed at the adult table. You've dismissed our concerns and ignored our requests. You've made it clear that you see us as primitive newcomers who should be grateful for your tolerance. And now? Kolvik asked. Now you know the truth, Jihi said. Humanity doesn't need your protection. We don't need your approval. We don't need your permission to do what's right. Dr. Kwok stepped forward again. Earth's technology is already 50 years ahead of yours. Our scientists work faster than your computers. Our manufacturing capabilities could outfit a fleet larger than all your militaries combined in 6 months. But we don't want to conquer anyone, Jihai added. We never wanted to rule the galaxy. We just wanted to be left alone to grow and learn, but you've made it clear that the galaxy doesn't work that way. The chamber was filled with frightened whispers. Representatives were checking their personal communicators, probably sending urgent messages to their home governments. What happens now? Chairman Vexton asked. Now you have a choice, Jihai said. You can continue treating us like primitive newcomers and see what happens. Or you can accept that humanity is now a major power in this galaxy, whether you like it or not. And if we choose the first option? The hegemony representative asked. Dr. Kwok's smile became truly frightening. Then you'll discover that the Krellian fleet got off easy. They were raiders attacking civilians. If you come after Earth itself, you'll face our full military might. And I promise you it's more than enough to end any empire that threatens us. Jihai looked around the chamber one last time. The galaxy has spent 5 years teaching humanity about power and politics. Congratulations. We were excellent students. She turned and walked toward the exit. Dr. Kwok followed her, leaving behind a chamber full of terrified alien representatives who were just beginning to understand that everything had changed. As they reached the door, Jihai turned back. Oh, and one more thing. The Valerians are now under Earth's protection. Anyone who threatens them will answer to us. I thought you should know. The door closed behind them, leaving the Galactic Council to face a new reality. Humanity was no longer hiding in the shadows. The secret was out, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Harmony's dream drifted in space like a dying whale. The beautiful Valerian ship had once been white and silver, but now it was blackened with weapon burns. Pieces of metal floated around it like tears. Its shields flickered weakly, growing dimmer with each passing minute. Warlord Thokmar stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the Valerian ship die. He was 8 feet tall with green scales and yellow eyes that glowed in the dark. His teeth were sharp like a shark's and his claws could cut through metal. He wore armor made from the bones of his enemies. How much longer? He asked his weapons officer. Their shields will fail in 20 minutes, came the reply. Then we can board and take prisoners. Thokmar smiled, showing all his terrible teeth. 50,000 Valerians would bring a good price in the slave markets. The Valerians were known for being smart and gentle. Rich collectors across the galaxy would pay millions for Valerian servants. What about the High Counselor's daughter? He asked. She's definitely on board, his intelligence officer said. Lithara herself. She'll be worth more than all the others combined. Thokmar laughed. It was a sound like rocks grinding together. This would be his greatest victory. Not only would he get rich from selling slaves, but he would break the spirit of the entire Valerian people. Sir, his sensor officer called out. I'm detecting 3 ships approaching. Thokmar looked at the tactical display. 3 small dots were moving toward them from the direction of Earth. He laughed even harder. Humans, he said with contempt. 3. Pathetic human ships think they can challenge. 12 Krellian battlecruisers? His bridge crew laughed with him. The humans were known throughout the galaxy for being weak. Their ships were small and slow. Their weapons were primitive. Everyone knew that humans had only joined the Galactic Council 5 years ago because the Valerians had sponsored them. Should we destroy them, Warlord? Asked his weapons officer. Not yet, Thokmar said. Let them come closer. I want to see the look in their eyes when they realize how hopeless this is. Then we'll kill them slowly. as a lesson to the rest of the galaxy. The 3 human ships continued to approach. They were still too far away for detailed scans, but they looked like typical Earth vessels. Small, boxy, and unimpressive. On the Harmony's Dream, Captain Veltar of the Valerians watched the approaching ships with growing hope. His people were pacifists who had no weapons, but they recognized the human ship designs from their databases. "Are those Earth ships?" asked his first officer. "Yes," Veltar said quietly. "But what can 3 human ships do against 12 Krellian battlecruisers?" The human ships were getting closer now. Thokmar could see them clearly on his screens. They looked exactly as he expected. Simple fusion drives, basic hull plating, primitive weapon systems. "Open a channel to the human ships," he ordered. The main screen showed the bridge of the lead human ship. A young woman in an Earth military uniform appeared. She had short black hair and determined eyes. "I am Captain Yoonji Han of the Earthship Inchen's Fury," she said. "Krellian vessels, you are ordered to withdraw immediately and release the Valerian ship." The entire Krellian bridge burst into laughter. Thokmar had to wipe tears from his eyes. "Little human," he said. "You are either very brave or very stupid. I have 12 battlecruisers. You have 3 small ships. Do you really think you can threaten me?" Captain Han's expression did not change. "This is your final warning. Withdraw now or face the consequences." "The consequences?" Thokmar roared with laughter. "I'll show you consequences. All ships open fire on the human vessels. Destroy them slowly. I want the galaxy to see what happens to those who challenge the Krellian Empire." 12 massive Krellian battlecruisers turned their weapons toward the 3 human ships. Each Krellian ship was 5 times larger than the human vessels and carried enough firepower to level a city. "Fire," Thokmar commanded. Space lit up with weapon fire. Plasma cannons, particle beams, and missile launchers all targeted the 3 human ships. Enough destructive force to destroy a small moon reached out toward them. And then something impossible happened. The weapons passed right through the human ships as if they were not there. "What?" Thokmar stared at his screens. "How is this possible?" His weapons officer checked his instruments frantically. "Sir, our weapons are functioning normally. But the human ships, they're not where they appear to be." "What do you mean?" "I think they're phasing between dimensions, moving in and out of normal space. Our weapons can't hit something that doesn't fully exist in our reality." Thokmar felt the first touch of fear. Dimensional phasing technology was theoretical. No one in the galaxy had ever successfully built it. "All ships concentrate fire," he ordered. "They can't phase forever." The Krellian fleet poured more weapons fire at the human ships. But the humans seemed to dance between the attacks like ghosts. They moved in ways that should have been impossible, changing direction instantly without any visible propulsion. Then the human ships stopped playing games. The Busan's Wrath suddenly dropped its stealth field. Where there had been a small, primitive-looking ship, now there was a massive vessel 3 times larger than a Krellian battlecruiser. Its hull was covered with weapons that no one had ever seen before. "Impossible," Thokmar whispered. The Busan's Wrath fired a single shot. A beam of pure energy that seemed to bend reality around it struck the nearest Krellian ship. The battlecruiser simply disappeared. Not destroyed, not blown apart. "It just ceased to exist, sir," his sensor officer screamed. "The human ship is using some kind of matter disintegration weapon. It broke down the Ravager at the molecular level." The Soul's Thunder revealed itself next. This ship was even larger, shaped like a giant sword made of metal and light. Weapons appeared all along its hull, weapons that looked like they came from a nightmare. The Soul's Thunder fired what looked like miniature black holes at 2 more Krellian ships. The gravitational weapons tore the battlecruisers apart piece by piece, pulling them into impossible shapes before crushing them into tiny points of matter. "Retreat," Thokmar ordered. "All ships retreat immediately." But it was too late. The Inchen's Fury had moved behind them somehow. It fired quantum torpedoes that passed through the hulls of 4 Krellian ships and exploded inside them. The explosions came from within, tearing the ships apart from the inside out. In less than 12 minutes, the mighty Krellian fleet had been reduced to 3 heavily damaged ships, fleeing for their lives. Thokmar's own flagship was barely functional, its engines destroyed and half its crew dead. How? He asked himself. How did the humans hide technology like this? The Inchen's Fury appeared on his screen again. Captain Han looked exactly the same as before, calm and determined. "Warlord Thokmar," she said, "you have 2 choices. You can surrender your remaining ships and face trial for your crimes. Or you can continue running and hope you reach Krellian space before we decide to finish this. Thokmar looked around his ruined bridge. His weapons were gone. His shields were down. His engines were barely working. "This isn't over, human," he said. "The galaxy will learn about your hidden weapons. They'll unite against you. They'll destroy Earth before you can become too powerful." Captain Han smiled for the first time. "Let them try," she said. "Today the galaxy learns that humanity has been keeping a secret. And that secret is this: we don't abandon our friends. The communication cut off." Thokmar watched as the 3 human ships moved toward the Harmony's Dream, but they were no longer small and primitive. They were massive vessels that dwarfed everything around them, bristling with weapons that could reshape reality itself. As his flagship limped away into the darkness, Thokmar realized that everything the galaxy thought they knew about humanity was a lie. The humans had been hiding in plain sight, pretending to be weak while building the most powerful fleet in galactic history, and now that secret was out. The elevator descended deep beneath Sol Command, going down levels that did not appear on any official building plans. Admiral Jae-Sung Cho stood in the center, watching the numbers count down. Level 50, level 60, level 70. Finally, it stopped at level 85. The doors opened to reveal a hallway that looked like something from a science fiction movie. The walls were made of some kind of metal that seemed to glow with its own light. Armed guards stood at attention, their weapons unlike anything in the official Earth Defense Force arsenal. Admiral Cho walked quickly down the hallway. Behind him came General Mi Young-song, her face serious and worried. Next to her was Director Dong-Hyun Ryu, the man in charge of Earth's most secret projects. A few other officers followed, all of them with the highest security clearances on the planet. They entered a conference room that was bigger than most people's houses. The table in the center was made of black glass that seemed to float in the air. Above it, holographic displays showed star maps and ship designs that most humans had never seen. "Sit down, everyone," Admiral Cho said. His voice was heavy with the weight of what he was about to reveal. The officers took their seats around the floating table. Director Ryu activated the room's security systems. Red lights appeared on the walls, indicating that no signals could get in or out. Whatever they said here would stay here. "The Valerian ship Harmony's Dream will be destroyed in less than 4 hours, Admiral Cho began. "The Galactic Council has refused to help. Our official fleet cannot reach them in time. So we're just going to let them die?" General Song asked. She had been a soldier for 30 years and had never liked giving up. "No," Admiral Cho said firmly. "We're going to save them. But doing so will require revealing Project Sleeping Dragon." The room became very quiet. Several officers looked shocked. They had heard rumors about Sleeping Dragon, but most thought it was just a myth. Director Ryu stood up and walked to the holographic controls. "For 50 years, he said, since before we made contact with alien life, humanity has been preparing for war." The holographic display changed. Suddenly, the room was filled with images of spaceships. But these were not the ships that the galaxy knew about. These were bigger, faster, and covered with weapons that seemed impossible. "When we first detected alien signals in the 1970s, Director Ryu continued, our governments made a decision. We would prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. We would build the greatest military force in the galaxy, but we would hide it until we absolutely needed it." General Song stared at the ship designs floating around her. "How many ships are we talking about?" 200 stealth destroyers, Director Ryu said. 50 Dreadnought-class battleships. 25 experimental vessels that use technology the rest of the galaxy doesn't even know exists. Admiral Cho pointed to one of the ship designs. It was sleek and deadly looking, covered in weapons. "The Inchen's Fury, Busan's Wrath, and Seoul's Thunder are already moving toward the Valerian position. They'll arrive in 4 hours. "How is that possible?" asked Captain Yuri Kim, one of the younger officers. "Our fastest official ships would take 30 hours to get there." Director Ryu smiled. "Because our official ships use technology that we want the galaxy to see. Slow, simple fusion drives, basic weapons. Nothing threatening. But our real ships use quantum tunneling drives that can bend space itself." The holographic display showed a map of the galaxy. Dozens of red dots appeared, representing hidden human ships scattered throughout space. "We've been watching and waiting for 50 years, Admiral Cho said. Learning about every alien species, studying their technology, improving our own. The galaxy thinks humans are primitive newcomers who barely understand space travel. That's exactly what we wanted them to think. General Song looked confused. But why? Why hide all this? Because, Director Ryu said, the galaxy is not a friendly place. Look at what happened today. When innocent people needed help, the Great Galactic Council chose politics over lives. They see humanity as weak and primitive. That keeps us safe. Safe from what? Captain Kim asked. Admiral Cho activated another display. This one showed intelligence reports about various alien empires. The Altarian Empire has conquered 17 star systems. The hegemony enslaves entire species. The Vordak Empire wipes out civilizations that displease them. If they knew humanity had military technology superior to theirs, what do you think would happen? The room fell silent as the officers understood. Earth was safe because the galaxy saw humans as harmless. If alien empires knew the truth, they might unite to destroy humanity before humans became too powerful. So we've been playing a role, General Song said slowly. Pretending to be weak, exactly, Director Ryu said. Our public fleet is real but limited. Our soldiers use weapons that are good but not too good. Our technology impresses other species just enough to gain respect, but not enough to cause fear. What about the Galactic Council? Captain Kim asked. Don't they have intelligence services? How have they not discovered this? Admiral Cho smiled grimly. Because we've been very careful. Our hidden facilities are deep underground or in places no one would think to look. Our advanced ships stay in stealth mode unless absolutely necessary. And we've made sure that any alien spies on Earth only see what we want them to see. Director Ryu brought up another display. This one showed manufacturing facilities that looked like they came from a dream. Robots building ships in zero gravity. Factories that could create materials by rearranging atoms. Assembly lines that worked faster than should be possible. Earth's real industrial capacity, he said, could build a fleet large enough to conquer half the galaxy in 6 months. But we've never wanted to conquer anyone. We just wanted to be ready if someone tried to conquer us. And now, General Song asked. Now we have a choice, Admiral Cho said. We can let 50,000 innocent Valerians die to keep our secret safe. Or we can reveal our true power to save them. The room was quiet for a long moment. Finally, Captain Kim spoke up. What happens if we save them? What happens when the galaxy learns the truth? Everything changes, Director Ryu said. The Galactic Council will be terrified of us. Some species will want to become our allies. Others will see us as a threat that needs to be eliminated. The galaxy will never trust us again. But the alternative is letting good people die while we watch, Admiral Cho said. The Valerians were our first alien friends. They helped us join the Galactic Council. They shared their knowledge and culture with us. Can we really abandon them now? General Song looked around the table at the other officers. If we do this, there's no going back. Once the galaxy knows what we're capable of, we can never be the harmless newcomers again. Maybe that's not such a bad thing, Captain Kim said. Maybe it's time the galaxy learned that humanity won't stand by while innocent people suffer. Admiral Cho nodded. I've made my decision. Operation Sleeping Dragon is authorized. Captain Yoon, are our ships in position? A new voice came through the communication system. Admiral, this is Captain Tae-ho Yoon aboard the Incheon's Fury. We're 30 minutes from the Valerian position. The Busan's Wrath and Soul's Thunder are with us. Rules of engagement? General Song asked. Destroy any Krellian ship that threatens the Valerians, Admiral Cho said. Show them what human technology can really do. But remember, the entire galaxy will be watching. Make sure they understand that this is what happens when innocent people are threatened. Director Ryu looked around the room one last time. After today, nothing will ever be the same. Humanity will no longer be able to hide in the shadows. Are we ready for that responsibility? Admiral Cho stood up. We'll have to be. Because in 30 minutes, the galaxy is going to learn that humanity has been keeping the biggest secret in galactic history. The Galactic Council chamber was a massive dome of crystal and metal that floated in space near the center of the galaxy. Representatives from dozens of alien worlds sat in their designated areas. Each species had their own section designed for their specific needs. Ji-hai Lee stood at the human platform, looking up at the other representatives. Even after 5 years, she still felt small in this place. The Altarian Empire section towered above everyone else. Their representatives were 8 feet tall with blue skin and proud faces. The Centauri collective area was filled with creatures that looked like walking computers, all logic and no emotion. But today, HFY was not here to feel small. She was here to save lives. "Honored representatives," she began, her voice echoing through the chamber. "I come before you with an urgent request. The Valerian colony ship Harmony's Dream is under attack by Krellian raiders. 50,000 innocent civilians need our help." A low murmur went through the chamber. Several representatives checked their data tablets for information about the attack. Chairman Vexthon of the Altarian Empire stood up. He was their military leader, a warrior who had conquered 17 star systems. His voice was deep and commanding. "Ambassador Lee," he said, "we are aware of this situation. Our intelligence shows 12 Krellian battlecruisers attacking one civilian ship. This is indeed unfortunate. HFY could not believe what she was hearing. "These are 50,000 lives we're talking about, including Lithera, daughter of the Valerian High Counselor." Vexthon nodded slowly. "Yes, the Valerians are a peaceful people. They have contributed much to our council. Their loss would be regrettable." HFY felt anger rising in her chest. "Regrettable?" That was all he could say. "Then you'll send ships to help them?" she asked. Vexthon looked around at the other representatives. Several of them were shaking their heads or making negative gestures. "The Krellian fleet is very powerful," he said. "Our nearest battle group is 72 hours away. By the time they arrive, the situation will be resolved one way or another." "Resolved?" HFY's voice was getting louder. "You mean 50,000 people will be dead or enslaved?" Kolvik of the Centauri Collective activated his translation device. When he spoke, his voice was cold and mechanical. "Ambassador Lee, your emotional response is understandable but illogical. The Krellian Empire has 12 heavy battlecruisers in that area. To challenge them would require significant military force. The risk to our own ships and personnel would be high. So you're just going to let them die?" HFY asked. "We are going to be practical," Kolvik replied. "The galaxy is a dangerous place. Not every ship can be saved. Not every species can be protected. This is a lesson that younger civilizations must learn." HFY stared at him. "Younger civilizations?" That was what they called humans. Earth had only been part of the Galactic Council for 5 years. To these ancient empires, humanity was still just children playing with spaceships. Representative Corin of the Spiral Federation stood up. Her people looked like giant butterflies with glowing wings. They were supposed to be wise and compassionate. "The human emotional attachment to the Valerians is well known," she said. Her voice sounded like wind chimes. "But we must think about the bigger picture. If we send our fleets to fight every Krellian raid, we will be at war across half the galaxy." "What about the Galactic Defense Fleet?" HFY asked. "Isn't this exactly what it was created for?" Chairman Vexthon checked his data tablet. "The Defense Fleet is currently engaged in training exercises in the Beta Quadrant. They cannot be repositioned in time." HFY knew that was a lie. The Defense Fleet could move anywhere in the galaxy within hours using their jump gates. But they were choosing not to use them. "Let me understand this correctly," she said. "You have the power to save 50,000 innocent people, but you're choosing not to because it might be inconvenient." The chamber fell silent. Many representatives looked uncomfortable. They knew how this sounded, but they also knew the political reality. Vexthon's voice became harder. "Ambassador Lee, humanity has been part of this council for only 5 years. Perhaps this tragedy will teach your people that space is vast and unforgiving. The strong survive. The weak do not. This is the way of the galaxy." HFY felt something break inside her. These were supposed to be the great civilizations of the galaxy, the wise and powerful races that had built this council to promote peace and cooperation. But when innocent people needed help, they turned into politicians making excuses. "I see," she said quietly. "So when the Valerians helped Earth join this council, that meant nothing? When they shared their knowledge and culture with us, that was just worthless kindness?" "It was a nice gesture," Kolvik said. "But sentiment does not change military reality. Your human ships are primitive compared to Krellian battlecruisers. If Earth attempted a rescue mission, you would only add human casualties to the Valerian ones." Other representatives nodded in agreement. The Vordak Empire representative made a sound that might have been laughter. The hegemony delegate looked at HFY with what seemed like pity. "Perhaps, Gorer," said Representative Zephyr of the Crystal Worlds. "This will encourage Earth to invest more heavily in military technology. Your current fleet is adequate for defending your home system, but insufficient for major operations. Jihai realized that they had already made up their minds before she even spoke. This emergency session was just for show. They would express sympathy, offer thoughts and prayers, and then go back to their comfortable lives while 50,000 Valerians died. "I want a formal vote," she said. "Very well," Chairman Vexthon said. "All in favor of sending immediate military assistance to the Valerian ship Harmony's Dream?" Only 3 hands went up. The Valerian representative, who was too far away to help his own people, a minor species from the Outer Rim that had no ships to send anyway, and Jihai herself, all opposed. 15 hands rose into the air. "The measure fails," Vexthon announced. "The Galactic Council will send a formal message of sympathy to the Valerian government and will consider providing humanitarian aid to any survivors." Jihai stood there for a moment, staring at these representatives who called themselves leaders. They had the power to save lives, but they chose politics instead. She activated her personal communicator, sending an encrypted message to Earth Command. The message was short and simple. "Council has abandoned them. It's up to us." As she walked out of the chamber, she heard Vexthon calling for the next item on the agenda. Something about trade regulations, as if 50,000 people were not dying while they talked about taxes. In her private quarters, Jihai opened a secure channel to Admiral Cho on Earth. His face appeared on her screen, looking grim. "I saw the vote," he said. "I'm sorry, Jihai. I know you tried." "The Krellians are attacking right now," she said. "The Valerians have maybe 4 hours left before their shields fail completely." Admiral Cho was quiet for a long moment. "There might be something we can do," he said finally, "but it would change everything." "Are you prepared for that?" 50,000 innocent people are going to die," Jihai said. "What could be more important than that?" "The secret that humanity has been keeping for 50 years, Admiral Cho replied. "The secret that keeps us safe by making everyone think we're weak." Jihai's eyes widened. She had heard rumors about classified projects, but she never imagined anything this big. "What are you talking about?" she asked. "Project Sleeping Dragon," Admiral Cho said. "And if we wake it up to save the Valerians, the galaxy will never see humanity the same way again." The alarm bells rang through Luna Station like a death cry. Hyunwoo Kim dropped his coffee cup and rushed to his communication console. The hot liquid splashed across the metal floor, but he did not care. Something big was happening. His fingers moved quickly over the controls. The main screen showed lines of data flowing like a waterfall. Most of it was normal space traffic. Ships coming and going from Earth. Trade vessels heading to Mars, nothing unusual. Then he saw it. A signal from the outer edge of known space. The Vega sector. The signal was weak and broken, but Hyunwoo could tell it was a distress call. "Captain Park?" he shouted across the command center. "Emergency signal coming in." So-Min Park walked over quickly. Her boots made sharp sounds on the metal floor. She had been captain of Luna Station for 3 years. In that time, she had seen many strange things. But the look on Hyunwoo's face told her this was different. "What do you have?" she asked. Hyunwoo's hands shook as he worked to clean up the signal. "It's a Valerian ship. The Harmony's Dream, they're under attack." So-Min felt her heart sink. The Valerians were good people. They looked like tall, thin humans with silver skin and large eyes. But they were gentle. They spent their time thinking about art and peace. They had no weapons, no armies. They were the first alien race to become friends with humanity when Earth joined the Galactic Council 5 years ago. "How many people on board?" So-Min asked. 50,000, Hyunwoo said quietly. "Including Lithara." So-Min closed her eyes. Lithara was the daughter of the Valerian High Counselor. She was like a princess to her people. If she died, it would break their hearts. "Who's attacking them?" So-Min asked. Hyunwoo worked for another minute. Then his face went pale. "Krellian raiders. 12 battlecruisers." So-Min cursed under her breath. The Krellians were everything the Valerians were not. They were big, ugly creatures that looked like lizards walking on 2 legs. They loved war and violence. They took prisoners to sell as slaves. They had been raiding the outer sectors for months. "Where exactly are they?" So-Min asked. Hyunwoo gave her the coordinates. So-Min looked at them and frowned. Those coordinates seemed familiar. She had seen them before in classified reports. "How long until the Galactic Council fleet can reach them?" she asked. Hyunwoo checked his computer. 72 hours. "And how long do the Valerians have?" "Their shields are failing." "Maybe 6 hours," So-Min felt anger building in her chest. 66 hours too late. By the time help arrived, there would be nothing left but empty space and debris. What about our ships? She asked. How long would it take for Earth's fleet to get there? Hyunwoo did the math. 30 hours for our fastest ships and still too late. So-min wanted to punch something. The Valerians had helped Earth so much. They had taught humans about galactic politics. They had shared their art and music. They had been true friends. And now Earth could not help them when they needed it most. But then Hyunwoo said something that made her stop. Captain, there's something strange about these coordinates. What do you mean? I've seen them before. In the deep space monitoring reports. The classified ones. So-min's eyes widened. She knew about those reports. They were so secret that only a few people on Earth had ever seen them. They were about something called Project Sleeping Dragon. Are you sure? She asked. Hyunwoo checked again. Yes, these are the same coordinates we've been watching for months. So-min's mind raced. Project Sleeping Dragon was not supposed to be activated for years. It was Earth's biggest secret. Something so important that most world leaders did not even know about it. She looked around the command center. Other officers were working at their stations. They could hear everything. She could not talk about classified projects in front of them. Hyunwoo, come with me, she said. Transfer the signal to my private office. They walked quickly down the hallway. So-min's office was small but secure. The walls blocked all electronic signals. No one could listen in. Show me the coordinates again, So-min said. Hyunwoo put the data on her private screen. So-min compared them to her classified files. They matched perfectly. This is not a coincidence, she said. The Krellians attacked the Valerians right next to our secret observation point. What does that mean? Hyunwoo asked. So-min thought about it. Earth had been watching those coordinates for a reason. Something was hidden there. Something important enough to keep secret from the entire galaxy. I need to contact Earth Command, she said. This is bigger than just a rescue mission. She activated her secure communication system. The signal would take several minutes to reach Earth. Several more minutes for a response. But this was too important to wait. While they waited, So-min watched the Valerian distress signal. She could hear the fear in their voices. They were asking for help from anyone who could hear them. They did not understand why no one was coming. Captain, Hyunwoo said quietly, if we can't save them, what happens to Earth's relationship with the Valerians? So-min knew the answer. The Valerians would never trust humanity again. They would think Earth abandoned them when things got dangerous. Other alien races would see this too. They would think humans were cowards who only cared about themselves. We have to find a way, she said. The communication system beeped. A message from Earth Command appeared on her screen. It was short and direct. Prepare for classified briefing. Admiral Cho will contact you in 10 minutes. Clear your office of all non-essential personnel. So-min looked at Hyunwoo. You need to go back to your station. Monitor the Valerian signal. Let me know if anything changes. What about the rescue? He asked. I don't know yet, but I promise you this. We're not going to let 50,000 innocent people die while we watch. Hyunwoo nodded and left. So-min sat alone in her office, staring at the coordinates on her screen. Whatever Project Sleeping Dragon was, she had a feeling it was about to wake up. The next 10 minutes felt like hours. So-min thought about the Valerians floating in space, watching their shields get weaker and weaker. She thought about Lithara, probably scared and confused. She thought about the Krellian raiders, celebrating their easy victory. Finally, her communication system activated. Admiral Cho's face appeared on the screen. He looked older than she remembered. Tired. Like a man carrying heavy secrets. Captain Park, he said, I hope you're ready to learn something that will change everything you think you know about humanity's place in the galaxy.